Hi, my name's Sharon Pederson, and I'd like to talk to you today about making reversible quilts. About 10 years ago, I discovered this wonderful technique, and since then I've barely made a quilt the traditional way because it makes it so much easier for you. Now we get to the fun part, which is choosing fabric. For this quilt, I've decided I'd like to work with some really cheerful primary colors or crayon box colors on one side, and I'm terribly fond of mixing bright colors with black. To me, black makes the colors just sort of jump. So I went to my stash and I found this great piece of fabric with all of these wonderful colors in it. So then all I had to do was grab others that I thought would go with it. It's always fun to go into your stash and pull out things that look good. Sometimes you make better choices than others, but I think this is an absolute must, don't you? Almost there. Okay, now we've got our first strip sewn down on side A, and we have our first strip sewn down on side B. By sewing one seam only, you have managed to attach the triangle and the first strip to both sides of the block. Make sure you draw a number of blocks and vary the width of the strips. Now we have one block completed. Click on the Color tab and let's add some fabric to the block. EQ6 provides you with a default fabric collection, but we know what the colors we want for our quilt, so let's go up to the fabric library. And we're going to want to choose by color. Slide the tab down to black on white and white on black. Select the whole collection by pressing on the Control key and the letter A on your keyboard simultaneously. Then choose Add to Sketchbook. Now that the actual lesson is over, and so is the EQ6 lesson, let's sit back and relax and look at some quilts that I made playing in Electric Quilt. When I first started making reversible quilts, pre-Electric Quilt days, first I had to make the blocks and then stand at my design wall, create the look I wanted, and then stand back and check it out. And if that wasn't the right setting, then I had to start all over again. I'm sure all of the grandmothers who are watching this recognize the I Spy quilt, and this one was made for my second grandchild, Finley, and I had already cut many of the squares because when his older sister was born and I made her I Spy quilt, anticipating another grandchild, I thought I'll be a little bit ahead and cut some in readiness. So you have to understand, of course, that I have the perfect fabric stash for I Spy quilts because I spent 5 years as a sales rep for a wholesale fabric distributor, and I have thousands of wonderful little pieces of fabric, many of which have shown up in this I Spy quilt. You don't get very many repeats across the block.
You don't have to re-slip.
My favorite is Hobbs Heirloom Cotton. It's 80% polyester. That's not right. It's 80% cotton and 20% polyester.
Okay, should do that again with a bit more of a gap. That'd be hard to edit because you went right.
Right.